the classic event has ended, and I've got quite a few thoughts on it. I did something similar to this with the hunt event, going over my positives and negatives, so now we're going to do the same. We're going to start with the negatives, and then we're going to go into the positives, and they're going to be kind of ranked in order of kind of the least problematic negative to the most problematic negative, and then kind of the worst positive to the best positive. So let's start with the negatives, and the first thing that I've got to say is with the games, and it's the fact that there are no classic games in an event about classic Roblox. Oh, there's an event about the classic. Oh, brilliant. We're going to see things like Work at a Pizza Place, Natural Disaster Survival, Classic Crossroads, classic games like that. Of course, you know, not like Blade Ball or Tower Defense Simulator, Driving Empire, Bed Wars. We've even got Toilet Tower Defense, for crying out loud. Like, this is not classic Roblox. The most classic game in the classic event is Bee Swarm Simulator. This is the least of my complaints out of the 6 because it's still representing classic Roblox. All of these games have updated to be themed around classic Roblox, so it's not a huge complaint of mine, but it still would have been nice to see some OG Roblox games getting an update, maybe ones that we haven't seen in ages, like something like Prison Life. Imagine that got an update for the event. That would have been awesome. Now, my next two negatives I'm going to incorporate into the same thing. The first one is that there is nothing for completing the game 100%, and that also there's no point to getting everything. With the hunt event, a few days before it ended, we had the infinite egg, where you needed 100 badges, which got nerfed down to 95 out of the 100 in order to get it. And that was awesome. You know, if you played everything, or almost everything, you would end up getting this accessory. And they only lowered it to 95 because not all games were featured and available in all countries. What do we get at the end of the classic event? We got a boss fight, which sounds really good on paper, but this boss fight is literally pointless. Boom, this will open up the basement, which seems pretty cool, awesome. You know, you've got this little one by one guy and some information on them, and you've got this sword right here. It says pull the sword, so you interact with it and pull the sword. This is really hyping up, shaking the screen. It's so exciting. There's a boss fight where we have to kill him. Oh my god, surely we're gonna get something really awesome for doing this. There we go, he's nearly there. And boom, we killed him. Oh my god, we did it. What are we gonna get? Surely we're gonna get an item or a badge or something like that. Here we go. Oh, the classic. Surely it's gonna say right underneath it what I'm gonna get. Presented by Roblox. Okay, what am I gonna get? Developed by Twin Atlas. That's awesome. Thanks to the devs for making this. What am I gonna get? Oh, here we go. Here we go. Until next time. Clearly, this is like a little credit scene. It's gonna cut. I'm gonna get a badge. I'm gonna get an accessory, something like that. I might even get that sword that I pulled. Here we go. Surely, give me my badge. Give me my accessory. Give me my stuff. No. Oh no. So all that. So literally a day before the event ended, a boss fight appears and you get nothing. It's just a bit underwhelming. You do all this work, so what's the point? What's the point in getting everything? I personally haven't 100% completed this event because there's no point. Why should I? I have all of the items. I didn't get the gold track because it's not really that interesting to me, but I have all of these 4 items, so why should I keep going? Because there's no 100% completion award. So that ties into my next point. If there is no point to doing everything in the game, what's really the point of ticks? You know, what's the point of that? You're probably going to answer me and you're going to say, well, Zach, you've got the event hub items, these 5 items you got, the drink coin, rocket launcher, super ball, a time bomb, and the mum's dog. These items are useful, you know, they can contribute towards you getting the avatar items. Yeah, but you don't need to do them to get the avatar items. An easy fix for this would just be to have a reward that you get at getting, I think it's 240, but there's not. So there's no point in ticks. It's literally pointless, except if you want to walk a dog around in the hub. I like how they've had 2 forms of currency, but there should have been something with it. You know, there should have been a 100% completion reward, or maybe 2 rewards, one for getting all the tokens and one for getting all the ticks. That would actually make people get the ticks. I've got 2 more complaints about this event, and then we'll get to the positives. But this one is quite a big one, and it's the fact that most games suck. So about half of them are okay, and about a fifth of them are actually good. Which is better than the hunts, but there's also way less games, so that does make sense. It's just a bit disappointing. You've got this event, this hype, you know, OG Roblox. People always say, oh, I want to go back to OG Roblox, and this is what we've got to commemorate that. Just mostly grinding stuff that's just really difficult. I'm not going to blame the game developers entirely, because Roblox did ask them to put 15 things in their games, and I assume they probably asked them to make the tokens harder to get than the ticks, but it still is a responsibility, and games like Arsenal and Dusty Trip did an amazing job to cater for that. But yeah, it still sucks, but it's nowhere near my #1 complaint for this event that I personally don't think is being talked about as much as it should be. It's lasting for 5 days and 2 hours. 122 hours, less than a week, to complete this. In my opinion, the hunt event lasted for too short of a time. That was only 2 weeks. I think in my video I said that it should be a month. I think looking back, maybe 3 weeks was kind of the sweet spot. This should have been 2 weeks, maybe even 3 weeks. Like, you've got 5 days to get 240 things. So 122 hours, let's say that's 120. That means you need to get 2 things, so like a token and maybe a ticks, every single hour. I get where they're coming from. They gave us 2 weeks to do 100 games. I think it was actually 15 days to do 100 games. So, you know, 15 games, having 5 days, it's actually more time proportionately, but it still is a lot more. There's a lot more you have to do. Whereas the hunt, it was just kind of get the badge. With this, there's 15 things. So it's a lot more. That is my #1 complaint for this. There's all of this hype and it only lasts for 5 days. I feel like there's a lot more criticisms with this event than the hunt, but there's also quite a lot more positives. There are less Roblox rewards. Yes, awesome. But that is mainly because the event didn't last as long. But still, we will take it. I believe that there were 5 different rewards available via Robux, which is a lot better. And only one of them is a limited, which is actually the sword that we pulled before, which is 40,000 Robux. I can't even say that with a straight face. So that's good. At least, you know, I still don't get why there's going to be Robux stuff that's limited. Just have those items inside of this event. I don't really get that. My next positive for this event is something that was the same as the hunt. It's actually about the game diversity. I think it's a great diversity of games here from different genres, and I want to applaud them for doing that because it's very easy to kind of just have the same games, but with 15 games I think they did this very well. You had 2 shooters, you had a kind of a dragon adventure game, you had one that's based on like TikTok, you had the Bed Wars one, you had Livetopia, that's like a roleplay game, there's only 1 of them, you had a fashion game, you had only 2 tower defense games, which is really good, 1 driving game, I guess Dusty Trip could also be considered a driving game, so only 2 driving games, 1 simulator, you had Blade Ball, you had Adopt Me, and then you had 1 Tycoon. So at most there's 2 games, there's 2 simulators, 2 driving games, 2 shooting games, but the rest were all individual, which I think is amazing. Of course, they're not classic games. It would have been better if they were classic games, because obviously with classic games there's so many different things, and they would have undoubtedly each game have been really unique to each other. But still, if they're not going to do classic games, then at least we have different games from different genres. I'm going to incorporate my next 2 positives into the same thing, and they're linked to rewards. I think that the rewards are really cool. I really like the second one here, the Reign of Awesomeness, like the crown and the wings. I think that one looks amazing. As well as the final reward there, the Cleocerebus. Is that how you say it? I'm not too sure. That one's cool. The bucket's cool as well. The shawl, it's okay. There are less rewards in this event, but I think the rewards are really cool, and especially the fact that we have free launcher items. With the hunt event, you have the Vault Star headphones given by star creators, but now we have free rewards. You've got this cake given by Roblox staff or admins. You've got this cake slice, which is probably my least favorite one, but it's still cool and given by developers. And then star creators give out this pie. That's awesome. Just like the old events, you had 3 different classes. You had the developers, you had the admins, and you had the creators giving out accessories. That's awesome. Love how they brought that back. And I mentioned this positive briefly in my negatives, but some of the games are really cool. There's not many. There are really 3 games that I consider, which is like a 5th that I'd actually consider to be good, which is Arsenal, Tower Defense Simulator. Many people criticize this one for being a bit difficult, but I personally really enjoyed it. And the Dusty Trip. Dusty Trips was phenomenal. I cannot express how good of a Dusty Trips one is, and the other ones, half of them are okay. The rest of them aren't good, but as I said earlier, you don't need to play all the games to get all of the rewards, which is a good thing on one hand, but also a bad thing on the other. And my final positive of the event is where we are right now, the hub. The hub is really cool, captures what classic Roblox is, really nice. It's all got, you know, it's got studded floors. The items that you get with the ticks, while they're kind of pointless and meaningless with the rewards, they still are based on OG Roblox, which is awesome. You've got crossroads, everything's kind of pixelated. You even got these portals, kind of, and in the portals in this house, you've got kind of OG avatars. Like, look, I'm a noob right now. Some people have said that this thing is the greatest thing since sliced bread. Like, it's not, let's be real here, but it is still really cool and a far, far better hub than the hunt. The hunt hub kind of fit the theme of the event, kind of, but this one really does, and it does amazing. It's even got the OG Roblox icon in the middle spinning around. There you go. There's my positives, there's my negatives. What are your thoughts? Are there things that I've said that you heavily agree with, heavily disagree with, things that I haven't even mentioned that your thoughts? Let me know in the comment section down below, and I'll make sure to read them and reply if I can. And yeah, this event's been really cool, and thank you, by the way, once again, like I said, for the hunt, because again, I posted tutorials and you lot have absolutely loved them, so thank you so much for the support. And make sure you subscribe to the channel, because when the next event rolls around, which I really hope they do, I hope that while this event, in my opinion, wasn't as good as the hunts, I really hope they still do events like this and improve, because there is room for improvement still. I really like how they've done this event on OG Roblox, but there are things that they could have done much better. If you subscribe to the channel and tap the bell, you'll get all the latest on it. I'll make sure to make videos building up to the event, and of course the abundance of tutorials during it and my thoughts after. While the classic event may be over, it could be a good idea to get some information about it, reflect on what it's like. I made this video right here, the beginner's guide to the hunt, telling you everything you needed to know about the event, so you can kind of get some information, learn some things, get little sneak peeks early before the event actually begun. And of course, while the event might be over, it still might be worth a watch for you, so make sure you check out that video right there, and I'll see you there. Thanks so much for watching this video. My name is DMD, and as always, peace out.